information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 5 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in to WOCA The Source. It's time for Veterans News. Today, Veterans News is a special full-hour Veterans News, and your calls are an important part of the show. Remember, the phone number during the course of the show is 622-9622 if you'd like to call in. Hank Whittier is your host, and good morning, Hank. How are you doing?
For a little while, but thank you. I appreciate it. And got some great people here today from the VA, Dr. Knapp and all his wonderful staff. I got a couple of subjects I want to talk about. We do. I know last week you didn't have casualties or any sort, but this week you do. Okay, so who's got the casualty list?
I have it. Hank, we got one firefighter and 4 police officers, regretfully to say. And first firefighter is Dennis Rodman. He is age 35. The date of death was 9/9/2015. He was from the Lansing Fire Department in Lansing, Michigan. While participating in the annual Fill the Boot fundraising campaign, firefighter Dennis Rodman was struck by a pickup truck passing through the charity event. A preliminary investigation of the incident indicates that the driver of the truck intentionally hit Rodman, who was wearing a reflective vest and other gear. The driver has been apprehended and is in custody. We have Deputy Chief John P. McKay, City of University of New York, Department of Public Safety in New York. The end of watch was Saturday, September 12, 2015. He was 49 years old. Deputy Chief John McKee died as a result of cancer he developed during his assignment to assist with search and rescue efforts at the World Trade Center site immediately following the terrorist attack on September 11, 21. Chief McKee had served with the City University of New York Department of Public Safety for 18 years, and he was second in command of the agency. He is survived by his wife. Next will be Joseph Cameron Ponder, Kentucky State Police, Kentucky. End of watch was Sunday, September 13, 2015. He was 31 years old. Trooper Joseph Ponder was shot and killed after conducting a stop. Trooper Ponder was a U.S. Navy veteran and had served with the Kentucky State Police for 9 months. We have Deputy Chief Stephen Brett Hawkins, Harrison County Sheriff's Office, Missouri. End of watch was Sunday, September 13, 2015. He was 34 years old. Deputy Chief Sheriff Brett Hawkins suffered a fatal heart attack following an emergency response. He is survived by his wife, daughter, 3 sons, mother, and 3 siblings. And we have Deputy Sheriff Dwight Manus, McHenry County Sheriff's Office, Illinois. End of watch was Monday, September 14, 2015. He was 47 years old. Deputy Sheriff Dwight Manus succumbed to gunshot wounds sustained 11 months earlier after being ambushed while he was en route to a domestic disturbance at a home in Holiday Hills. Deputy Manus was a U.S. Army veteran and had served with the McHenry County Sheriff's Office for 7 years. He is survived by his wife.
Okay, anybody have anybody local they want to mention at all? No? Good. Larry.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. was blind, but now I see.
Okay, well, thanks, Larry. Appreciate it. Sorry there's casualties this morning, but some mornings that's what we have to do. Gary, you going to talk about who makes this all possible?
Yeah,
I know you
man.
do, besides Larry. I mean, Larry always wants his credit.
Couldn't
but-
do without Larry and the great folks here at WOCA Radio who make Veterans News Hours possible every week. And we also want to thank our fine Ocala Ford dealers who serve not only Ocala and Marion County, but Gainesville, Leesburg, the Villages, and Bellevue. Your Ford dealerships have everything from the great line of Ford trucks to any kind of Ford car you can imagine, including that famous Mustang. You can get your new car there. You can get your used car. They have any kind of parts you may need, and they're genuine Ford repair parts. And if you're not interested in a new car or a used car, they have special leasing, and they want to be the best Ford dealers in Florida. Now, our local Ford dealer, the main office, is located at 2816 North Pine Avenue in beautiful Ocala, right next to the Burger King. And you can contact them at area code 352-732-4800. And we also want to thank the fine folks at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens and Nursery who have brought us Veterans News Hour here for quite a while. And you know, when it comes to your landscaping needs, Bob Wines has what you need. Everything from small plants to large trees, mulch, fertilizer, and much more. And Bob Wines will deliver it if you can't pick it up. And if they plant a tree for you, they will guarantee it. Bob Wines Camellia Gardens and Nursery has been keeping things blooming in Ocala since 1952, and that's a long time. That's almost as old as me. Now, Bob Wines offers a 10% discount if you let them know you're a veteran, and make sure you tell them, and make sure you tell your Ford dealer that you heard about them on WOCA Radio.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I was out there Saturday buying some stuff. If you've not been there, it's a huge place. I mean, they've got acres of land and acres of bushes and trees and flowering shrubs, and they even told me how to do it. And we'll give it a try. But anyway, they're very helpful. And again, you get your discount if you talk about being a veteran. So they were extremely, extremely helpful to you, helped you to your car, all that good stuff. So they're good people.
And if they're listening, my camellia bush I got from them got its first bloom on Sunday, and it was just beautiful.
Very good. No, it's people don't realize, again, you go to some of these other places and you get, the selection you get isn't as good. And quite frankly, the quality of the plants and things that you buy out of Bob Wines are superior to things you find in these box stores. So it's a good place to go, and certainly Ford is too. I did get a little thing handed to us about open to the public Women Veterans Appreciation Day up at Buhos High School in Gainesville on Friday the 18th. From 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. So if you're interested in going, it's up at Buhos High School. I don't have a phone number on here, but it's that. And I guess that's where all the women vets are going to be.
Tomorrow, advertise about our women's health fair.
Sure you can.
We have
Yeah.
a women's health fair coming up next year, Hank.
If I said no to you, you would do it anyway.
So I asked Cece to advertise about our women's health fair.
And we have a break coming up, so let's take that break. We'll be
Okay.
right back. We got a full hour today of Veterans News, so your calls are important. The number is 622.
Yeah, you need to plug it.
9622. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. The flood watch is in effect for coastal counties through late tonight. It'll be mostly cloudy today with a couple of showers and heavy thunderstorms. Watch for localized flooding, the high 81 to 85. Mostly cloudy tonight with a couple of showers and a heavier thunderstorm, low 69 to 73. For tomorrow, variable cloudiness with a heavy thunderstorm or two around, the high 83 to 87. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Are you in need of custom screen printing, embroidery, or promotional items? Then look no further and come visit the brand new Legacy Team Sales. LTS is conveniently located off 17th Street next to Armstrong Homes in beautiful Ocala. We offer the best prices and highest quality products for your company, team, school, or nonprofit. Whether looking for screen printed shirts, embroidered polos, or travel team uniforms, you'll be sure to find it at Legacy Team Sales. Come visit our new 27,000 square foot facility. Our friendly and knowledgeable sales staff will assist you in every part of your custom purchase. LTS carries the hottest brands in the industry like Under Armour, Russell, Mizuno, Asics, Badger Sports, Gildan, Pacific, Ogio, and many more. At LTS, screen printing embroidery is done in-house and we guarantee customer satisfaction. Stop by, give us a call, or check us out on the web at shoplts.com. Remember the name, LTS.
It's tree planting time, and that means it's money-saving time because Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens presents a BOGO on every tree in stock. Listen, pick out your tree, whatever tree you want, and get a second tree at half price. That's right. Buy one, get a second at half price for a limited time only. Prices start as low as $49.95 for extra large trees up to 8 feet tall. By the way, Bob Wines has those hot and popular weeping bottle brush trees you've been asking about. Want more specials? How about this one? Extra large fall garden mums, a whole host of colors, just $9.99 each when you buy 2 or more. Check them out. New shipment of pine straws just arrived, as little as $4.50 a bale when you buy 10 or more. Hurry this week to Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens. Open daily till 3, Saturdays till 2. Locally grown, home-owned since 1952.
This weather is brought to you by your local Safeway water dealer, who would like to remind you to drink plenty of water each day to keep the doctor away.
Putting the local back into radio. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. WOCA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
We are The Source, WOCA, news, talk, sports, and more.
18 minutes after 9 o'clock, let's return to Veterans News with Hank Whittier and Dr. Mark Knapp.
Hey, listen, we are back. We're going to turn it over to the VA in just a minute. I'm going to complain again this morning. I always have something I'm unhappy about, as you well know, but the election. We have the same mayor, and we have one new city councilman, Matthew Wardell, who is the symphony orchestra director. Congratulations to those two guys. But really not correct. Congratulate the city of Ocala and the voters in it, because only 11% of the voters turned out. I talked to the supervisor of elections last night. I mean, that's pretty pitiful, really, when you think about it. So you think about, we always talk about freedom and the need to be independent and keeping our freedoms. You're not going to stay free, and you're not going to get the people in office if you don't turn out to vote. And 11% was pretty dismal, really. So maybe let's do better this coming year, which is 2016. We have a lot of elections, including the presidential election. So hopefully we'll do better next time around, okay? So that's enough complaining. We're going to turn it over to Dr. Knapp. I don't know if you want to mention last night and congratulate that Healthcare Alliance also, but Dr. Knapp's going to get into a variety of issues. He's got all his staff here with him, so I'm going to turn it over to you, my friend.
Well, thank you, Hank. We're going to start first. You mentioned about a women's health program, and every year the multi-county area has a women's health program, and it's our turn in Ocala. So I'm going to ask Cece Malera to talk about that, then we'll move on to our topic.
Yes, we would just like to announce that on February 28th of 2016, Ocala VA will be hosting the Tri-County Women Veterans Health Fair. It's going to be held at the Ocala Cascades from 10 o'clock in the morning until 2 o'clock.
Very good. We've really beefed up our women's health program. We have 3 women's health providers, and we understand there's thousands of people listening to this program. And if you're a veteran who's female, we really have better facilities. I know in past women were hesitant to come to the VA, but every month we're adding more and more women, and we have wonderful women's health at the Cascade. So if you're a female veteran listening, we're ready to deliver really good medical care.
And you're going to have other agencies represented as well, not just the VA,
yes.
there'll be other agencies
and other
there.
resources
and
that
other
are available in the
resources.
county.
Very good. Yeah, I've gone to several of those. Those are very well worth attending. So I hope.
And our theme for this year is It's All About You.
Yeah, very good.
We're going to have yoga, kickboxing, and everything. You might
Belly
want to actually
dancing. We're also
participate,
gonna
Hank,
have belly
in the yoga and kickboxing.
Did you hear that,
Kickboxing,
Hank?
yeah.
Belly dancing.
And belly dancing too. All right. Listen, this will sound more inviting all the time. Can Larry come?
Of course. It's open for everybody.
Hank, you better not go because somebody's looking
Someone's
for you.
going to kick me. Is what
Yes,
you're saying.
everything. Kick you.
Well, Hank, today we have a program on vaccinations. And the reason we have it is because we start flu season October 1st, and we have Dr. Charla Gary, our pharmacist, one pharmacist at the clinic. We have Carmen Ortiz, our assistant head nurse, and Cece Malera, who's our head nurse, and she's no stranger to the show. You're probably getting sick and tired of listening to her since she's been on the show every other month. But there's two reasons that we wanted to talk about vaccinations today. One is they're free. Some of these vaccinations are very expensive, and if you're a veteran, this is your benefit. We give out hundreds of vaccinations per month. They're free. And then secondly, especially with flu vaccine, the percent of people in this country, and veterans as well, who actually get flu vaccines is extremely low. And as you know, in the flu season, the hospitals are filled with older individuals who get influenza, pneumonia, and there's an excess of deaths. So if you're listening, even if we could get an extra couple hundred people vaccinated and prevent them from being in the hospital, it'd be worth our while.
Very good.
So let me start with Dr. Gary here. Dr. Gary, we had many types of influenza in the last 10 years. Are we expecting a bad flu season this year?
Well, as you said before, that the flu season starts in October to May. It usually peaks in the United States between December and February. But it's really not possible to predict how good or bad a flu season we're going to have because the timing, severity, the length of the season, it varies from one year to another.
What was the problem last year? We read about in the paper, and the veterans come in and tell me the flu vaccines weren't effective last year. What was the problem last year?
The problem was that, every year there's different changes or different strands and viruses that for the flu. So the research to come up with the seasonal flu vaccine is for the most common strands or viruses. But there were new viruses that came up last season that, really weren't very common. So it was still effective to get the flu vaccine, but then there were more viruses that, weren't covered with that vaccine.
Yeah, my information reading was it was about 50% effective, and usually it's more than that. But if you're someone my age, or even Hank's age, as old as Hank, and you get the flu vaccine and it's 50% effective, that's still pretty good and may keep you out of the hospital. I'm anxious to start giving flu shots in the clinic. Cece, when are we going to start, and what are we going to do with flu vaccines this year?
We're going to start giving the flu vaccine on October 7th. That's a Wednesday. We're going to have it available for non-scheduled patients from 1:30 in the afternoon to 3:30 in the afternoon, Tuesdays to Fridays. And then the patients that have scheduled doctor's appointment, they don't need to have extra appointments. They can be given on the time when they come in.
So the patients will not need an appointment. They can just come on in. Can you tell us those times again?
Yes, the times for the flu clinic will be starting October 7th from Tuesdays to Fridays from 1:30 to 3:30 in the afternoon, except on federal holidays and the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Great.
And if you'll put your headset on, we have a phone call coming in, and you'll be able to hear the caller, hang in there, caller, while everybody puts their headsets on. And first, let me give a sound check. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, then you'll be. Can you hear me? No. There might be a little knob. Just trace that wire. One of those will turn up. That helps. Okay.
I can't hear it.
You can't. Okay. All right. Good morning. Yes, that helps. Good morning. You're on the air now. Thank you for waiting.
Thank you. Thank you for your calling and your program. Two questions. One has to do with the flu shots for people that are over 65. Is there something where people over 65 are supposed to get a stronger dose or a different dose? And the second part of it is the pneumonia shot. What is the Prevnar?
Good question. And we were going to handle the second question a little bit later in the program, but let me move on. We'll ask Dr. Gary about whether there's different types of flu shots for individuals over 65.
There is a high-dose flu shot that is available. We don't have it at the VA, but it is available, but it hasn't been shown to be, any more effective than the regular flu vaccine.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well. Some of the individuals also ask whether they should get a second flu shot as well, and we only give out the recommended one shot. But your second question is extremely interesting. We're going to take that now. Prevnar is being advertised nationally. It's on TV every night, and it's really confusing. What is the Prevnar? And the good news is we give out the Prevnar every day. So I'm going to ask Dr. Gary to explain what the Prevnar is.
There's two types of pneumonia vaccines. There's one that's called the regular Pneumovax and then the Prevnar. The difference is the Pneumovax is also Pneumo 23. It covers 23 strains of the Streptococcus pneumonia bacteria. And the Prevnar, or the pneumonia 13, it has about 13 strains, which it's included in the pneumonia 23. However, for patients that are above the age of 65, they are supposed to get both vaccines, but they're supposed to get a dose of the 13 as well.
So it's a paradox that the original pneumonia shot covered more strains, but the Prevnar that covers less strains is more effective because of the vehicle and the way it's formulated. So if you're 65 or older, we'll give you both, but separated in time.
And Doctor, I have another phone call. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, doctors. When we were young, most of us all got shots for chickenpox. Now that we're adults, older people, we kind of worry about shingles. Do we need to get another chickenpox shot, or what do we do to help prevent that problem?
Well, if you had chickenpox, you still are supposed to get a shingles vaccine. Shingles vaccines are done at the age of 60. Okay, they're approved for age of 50 to 55, but the CDC recommends 60 and above for adults. So
at the VA, we start at age 60, and whether you had chickenpox or not, we still give you the shingles vaccine. And the statistics are the following. One, you have a 50% reduction in your chances of getting the shingles, which is a lot. And then secondly, in the studies with the shingles vaccine, if you get the shingles vaccine and you're one of the unlucky ones to get the shingles, your disease is much, much less. And we had an individual we gave a shingles vaccine to last year, and he called us with the shingles a year later. And I asked him, I said, you having a lot of pain and a lot of misery? He said, absolutely not. So we had him come into the office because I couldn't believe it. And he came in and he had a very, very mild case. So we probably have given, I bet we've given 3,000 or 4,000 shingles vaccines. So if you're in that age group, you desperately need a shingles vaccine.
Okay, thank you. And the phone lines are open if anybody else wants to call in. We're just about a minute away, Doctor, from the bottom of the hour.
Okay.
But for the listeners listening in, today is a full hour show. And right now, Hank has stepped out. Dr. Mark Knapp is handling the show. And, of course, his panel of experts will be answering your questions. So if you want to call in, the number is 622-9622. We'll take a break right now, catch up on the weather forecast and a few commercial announcements, and we'll be right back with Veterans News. You're listening to The Source, WOCA Ocala.
This is James Snyder, inviting you to join me each Sunday morning at 9:30 for Sunday Joy on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. In round 2 of the GOP presidential face-off, candidates standing up on foreign affairs, gay marriage, and immigration. In the debate on CNN, Jeb Bush pressing Donald Trump to apologize for comments he made about his Mexican-born wife.
To subject my wife into the middle of a raucous political conversation was completely inappropriate, and I hope you apologize for that, Donald.
Well, I have to tell you, I hear phenomenal things. I hear your wife is a lovely woman.
She is.
I
She's
don't
fantastic.
know her, and this
she
is a total
absolutely the love of my life, and she's right here. And why don't you apologize for her?
No, I won't
right
do that
now.
because I said nothing wrong, but I do hear she's a lovely woman.
Trump calling Bush weak on immigration. A hearing today to decide if Sergeant Bo Bergdahl should face a military trial for leaving his post in Afghanistan.
Bergdahl disappeared from his platoon's Afghanistan outpost in 2009 and was taken prisoner by insurgents and released last year in a controversial swap for 5 Taliban prisoners.
Fox Radio's Tanya J. Powers. Fox News. We report. You decide.
A Napa guy knows not to judge a man by his car's multicolor paint job or absence of safety features. Who cares if it's technically old enough to vote and the windows are powered by the strength of your left arm? Your monthly payment is $0, and it'll stay that way. Because with over 400,000 parts and a little Napa know-how, you can keep anything on the road. She may not be pretty, but she's all yours. That's Napa know-how.
Right now at the Home Depot, save 20% when you buy 1 or more pallets of in-stock GAF shingles. So, let's raise the roof and lower the cost with bulk pricing on top-of-the-line GAF shingles, including Timberline, America's favorite shingle. This is worth shouting from the rooftops. Let's do this. Save 20% on 1 or more pallets of in-stock GAF shingles at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through September 30th, U.S. only. See store for details.
Ooh, ouch. Does pain have you glued to the couch? Yes, unfortunately it's true that every year we must get older, but that doesn't mean we have to deal with pain in our back, knees, or shoulder. If your muscle come get acupuncture from me and you'll be pain-free. Acupuncture starts as low as $35 at a Better You Healthcare. Call me, Dr. Erica Olstein, at 615-5566. Stop your pain from driving you insane.
Hi, Matt Wilkerson here, your mobile Verizon rep. But not just here, I'll deliver the phone to you in your home. While I'm there, I'll only sell you what you need and I'll personalize it to you. Want to have me get you connected? Then call me at 352-528-0020. I even offer unlimited home phone service for just $20 per month. Just call me, your mobile Verizon rep, at 352-528-0020.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood. And when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
Career Source Citrus Levy Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source Citrus Levy Marion and learn how they can help you.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my
too.
seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new
Yep,
trunk.
we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
25 minutes before 10 o'clock, let's rejoin Veterans News. The phone calls are coming in. Gosh, we got a lot of phone calls. One on hold waiting throughout the break. Let's return. Dr. Mark Knapp is in the studio from the VA clinic here in Ocala, sitting in as Hank Whittier has stepped out. And Doctor, you want to go straight to the first phone call?
Let's go right to our phone calls.
Good morning. Thank you for waiting. You're on the air now.
Yes, what type of patients can't get a shingles vaccine?
Very good question. Thank you very much. Let me go ahead and who wants to answer that? Dr. Gary, you want to go ahead and take that?
Yes. Shingles vaccines are not recommended for patients that are really immunocompromised. And that list could include patients that have, weakened immune systems because of HIV or AIDS, if they're on high-dose steroids, or if they're receiving any type of cancer treatment like radiation or chemotherapy, and any cancer affecting the bone marrow or lymphatic system, such as leukemia or lymphoma.
Okay. And we'll check that out. So if we want to give you a shingles vaccine, we'll look at that and make sure that you're not in one of those categories.
Yes, and also women that are pregnant are not
Very good.
to get this.
Okay, important phone call. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. And you have another phone call coming in. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air.
Yes, question I have is, can you get the vaccine for the flu if you are allergic to eggs?
Good question. Charlotte, do you want to take that again?
Yes. Patients that are allergic to eggs are not supposed to get the flu vaccine because there is an egg component in influenza vaccines.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
All right, didn't know that.
Is there anything else you could take in its place?
Not that I am aware of. I do know, no, not that if you're allergic to egg allergies. I do know that there are two different types of influenza vaccines available that distinguish between patients that have a latex allergy, because there's one that, you can take if you have a latex allergy, and one that are for patients with latex allergies, but that is the only one that I am aware of.
And in the flu season, we actually, if you're around individuals with influenza or if you have very sick people at home, sometimes we can put you on a medication daily for a short period of time to prevent influenza.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and move on to some of the other really interesting vaccination. I think, though, Joe, you have an
yes,
announcement.
thank you.
Let's
I've got to roll.
Joe.
I got to roll with this. Hank apparently said something about open to the public, the Women's Veterans Appreciation Day, which is happening tomorrow between 6:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. And the phone number to get in touch with them. Now, that's going to be happening in Gainesville. It's 352-379-4064. Again, 352-379-4064.
Good job. I think that was too many numbers for Hank.
That's why I went slow. Slow. And I sometimes people have trouble when I read it in the daytime because they went to night school. But, we'll roll with that.
Thanks, Joe. Well, we give out other vaccinations, and there's a real interesting one for our young veterans, and we're seeing many more young men and women in the clinic. And we're going to ask Carmen about our HPV vaccine. What is this, and who should get vaccinated with that, Carmen?
Okay, well, first let me tell you what HPV means. HPV stands for human papillomas virus. It is the most common sexually transmitted infection. It is a viral infection that can be spread from person to person through anal, vaginal, oral sex, or through other close skin-to-skin touching during sexual activity. It is so common that nearly all sexually active men and women can get it at some point in their lives.
And we do see a lot of young men who actually have warts. So when you think about HPV, you're thinking about venereal warts. And as people get older, sometimes that gets to be very bulky, cause a lot of symptoms and everything. We usually give this to women. What age group? What age groups are we looking at, Carmen?
So today now, according to the CDC, both girls and boys at the age of 11 to 12. Let's get real here. Nowadays, you have children at this age that are sexually active. So it is recommended for all this age group all the way up to the age of 26. And it is gotten in a series of 3. They have to get 3 vaccines. The first one, 2 months later, the second one, and 6 months later, the third one. They should get all 3 vaccines.
Great. We give those both to men and women in the clinic.
Yes, we do.
That's great. Well, that's an expensive vaccine, and it's given 3 times, and that, again, that's a benefit. Then we check out all our young active duty or post-deployment individuals and give those vaccines.
And what's the result once the vaccines are given?
Well, good question. It's the long-term outlook. It's a lifetime. The question is, in a lifetime, will it prevent not only the warts, but Joe, it also prevents cervical cancer.
Oh.
So we don't have 30 and 40-year follow-ups, but the few-year follow-ups on these vaccines was extremely good. So hopefully cervical cancer will be a disease that will not exist, in
polio,
20,
it's
30
gone.
years. That's exactly right.
I like it.
Okay, let's go on back to flu vaccines. And again, we want to make sure everybody gets vaccinated. Cece, what about this situation where our veterans are going to Walgreens and everything else? Was that working out for our veterans last year?
Yes, it did work out. Our veterans can get their flu vaccines at Walgreens or their local doctors if they prefer to. We just recommend or ask that they let us know so we can also document on our records. And also, if they get it at Walgreens, if they identify that they are a veteran and that they go to a VA clinic, Walgreens, they have started a spreadsheet that they can put it in so that it will transfer to our CPRS or to our medical records in the VA.
So
unfortunately, some of them did not work through, so to work out all the kinks, the best thing is if they get it there and they tell them they're a veteran, just let us know also to make sure that we got it recorded for them.
Well, it's free at the clinic. How much does it cost at Walgreens?
I am not sure how much they charge at Walgreens. I think they are not charged if they're a VA. They do it through their Medicare. Medicare should.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
they'll
anyway,
charge
a
it through
flu
Medicare.
vaccine should be free, so there shouldn't be any real excuse not to get a flu vaccine. Well, one of the reasons the video show, Joe, is that the percentages of the population that get flu vaccines is very low, and it's even lower for healthcare workers, if you can believe it.
And why, you
Well,
think?
I don't know. Cece, you have any insight into that?
Well, based on studies, the reason why people refuse or hesitate to get the vaccine is because they feel like they get sick or they get the flu when they get the flu vaccine. Well, this is not true anymore. Before, there was live viruses in the vaccine, but for the last several years now, we don't have the live virus in the vaccine itself. So they cannot get flu from the vaccine itself. But that was one of the myths that they get sick from.
But it's true, if you have a sniffle or a cough, you don't get the vaccine.
Don't get it at that time. We'll wait for your sniffle to go away.
Okay. Very good. We have a phone call?
Yes, you do. Good morning. You're on the air. Thank you for calling.
Good morning.
Good morning. I've heard concerns about people getting the flu shot, and once you get the flu shot, that you get the flu. Is that true?
Well, that's a very good point, and I hear that all the time. So let's turn that over to Dr. Gary. Can you get the flu from the flu shot?
No, that's what Cece was just saying, that is a myth that you don't get the flu from getting the flu vaccine. And if you do have symptoms of any cold virus, then you wait before you get the vaccine.
That's right. It's an inactivated virus, so it's completely impossible to get the flu from it. But let me ask Cece, what are the side effects that we see from the flu vaccine, if any?
Yeah, well, some of the minor side effects would be on the site where you are given the shot. It might have some redness, swelling, soreness, and that's just normal. And then you can just apply cold compress over it to go away. Or sometimes you might have like little body aches, which would last for about 2 days, and that's it.
Right, so minimal side effects. Thank you for your call.
And we're just about up to the next break, so we'll take a little break right now and be right back. We've got another 15 minutes left in the Veterans News program. If you want to call in, your calls are important. The number is 622-9622. We will be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. The flood watch is in effect for coastal counties through late tonight. It'll be mostly cloudy today with a couple of showers and heavy thunderstorms. Watch for localized flooding, the high 81 to 85. Mostly cloudy tonight with a couple of showers and a heavier thunderstorm, low 69 to 73. For tomorrow, variable cloudiness with a heavy thunderstorm or two around, the high 83 to 87. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
On this episode of What Not to Do, brought to you by
Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it.
I thought I told you to call Mike Scott Plumbing to get this leak fixed.
I did call the plumbers. They were just here.
Let me get this straight. You're telling me Mike Scott Plumbing was just here?
Well, not exactly.
Well, then who exactly was here?
You know, the other plumbers. They were having a sale.
Is that why there's duct tape on my toilet?
Wait, I don't see any, that duct tape. Well, at least it matches the grout color.
There's a reason we only call Mike Scott Plumbing. They're on time, every time. They don't charge extra for nights, weekends, or holidays. And most importantly, and I need you to pay attention on this part, they actually fix it.
Okay, so you want me to try to fix it?
Yes, I do. By calling Mike Scott Plumbing, like you should have done in the first place.
Yes, dear. What's the number again?
You really should know this by heart. 866-314-4443.
Got it. 866-314-4443.
On next week's episode of What Not to Do.
Seriously? A helicopter?
Whether you're building it up or knocking it down, get it done, rent it now. Sunbelt Rentals is here to make your job a little easier. Our knowledgeable staff will help you find the right equipment for any job, big or small. Did you know that Sunbelt Rentals carries heaters, air conditioners, generators, lighting, traffic control, and so much more? So whether you're building it up or knocking it down, we've got the equipment you need. Get it done, rent it now. And right now, for a limited time, you can have it for less. Just by mentioning this ad, if you and only pay for 1 day. But this is a limited time offer, so stop into Sunbelt Rentals today, Northwest 27th, just a quarter mile east of I-75. For more information, just give us a call, 352-369-9101. 9101. Sunbelt Rentals. Get it done right now. 352-369-9101.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock & Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock & Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock & Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
All right, 12 minutes before 10 o'clock, let's return to Veterans News. Dr. Mark Knapp. Doctor?
Okay, well, thank you very much. We just have 10 minutes left. We were talking at intermission that 30, 40 years ago, some of these flu vaccines that had side effects really kind of made our population pretty gun-shy about getting influenza vaccines, but we want to assure everyone that things have changed dramatically. And as I said, we give out dozens and dozens of vaccines per day, Joe, in the office, and we've been doing it for years. For example, we probably have given out 4,000 shingles vaccines. We probably give out 1,000 Prevnar a year, and these vaccines do not cause significant side effects. Let me go back to Dr. Gary. And Dr. Gary, you had a few thoughts on egg allergy and flu vaccine?
Yes. There are some flu vaccines that do not contain egg protein, but actually the CDC does recommend that patients that have egg allergies receive the flu vaccine because it's only a small amount of egg protein. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll have a reaction to the vaccine. Some of the common reactions are things like hives or rash with the vaccines if you're allergic, have that egg allergy.
Very good. So if you come to the clinic, we'll discuss that with you and come up with a solution. We were talking about human papilloma virus vaccine, which is the newest vaccine that's come out, and I did want to use that opportunity to talk about our women's health program, which we're really proud of. Let me ask Carmen, can you tell us a little bit about what we do for women's health at the clinic?
Well, first of all, we have 3 providers at the clinic that do women's health, and this is the routine gynecological exam and the pap smears for women. If there are issues that are more severe that have to be treated, or if a female comes in and she is pregnant, then she is referred to the Gainesville Women's Clinic, where they then direct her to obstetrician outside the clinic locally where they live. They do provide also mammograms. Okay, mammograms are done locally once the console is placed for a female. The results are then faxed over back to the VA clinic, where they get scanned into the patient's records. They are documented there, and then the results are forwarded to the women provider who has been taking care of that female. If abnormal, then the doctor will get in contact with them by phone to let them know what's going on. If the results is normal, then they'll get a letter indicating the results of the normal mammogram.
That's terrific. So we do all that in the clinic. I'm really impressed with our tracking system. Cece, you can tell us a little bit about our tracking system for pap smears and mammograms?
Yeah, we do have our women's liaisons that keeps track of all our patients that either have mammogram or pap smear to make sure that it was done and the results were documented, and that the follow-up, if there are any, are being done.
Very good. So we really have a double check to make sure that things don't fall through the cracks.
I'm very impressed with the clinic and the VA administration myself personally, because not only do I get written mail or correspondence from the VA telling me when my appointment is, and if you can't make it, to call this number so we can advise you. And then I actually get a phone call about a week before.
Like I just did.
Like you just did. There we go. So it's like the communication has broadened so much and tightened up at the same time that I don't think very few are falling through the cracks unless they're lazy, you know.
We're really checking. Our no-show rate for primary care is about 7%. So 93% of our individuals show up, and if they don't show up, we'll find you.
Which is a good thing.
Yep.
Dr. Knapp, I also want to, since we're talking about how we're communicating with the veterans, there is My Healthy Vet. So for those veterans that uses the computer, we really encourage everybody to sign up on My Healthy Vet. You can communicate with your providers, and also there you can see your actual appointments coming up.
My Healthy Vet?
myhealthyvet.com.
.com. Okay.
Right, .gov. I'm sorry, G-O-V. .gov.
Gov. That's why I was asking.
.gov.
Yes. Yeah.
That's right.
I'll mess you all up. Yeah.
You can get your refills. You can download your labs. My diabetics email me their blood sugars, their blood pressures.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't have to stand in line on the phone waiting for the answering machine. You can just email them in, and all the docs within 24 hours email you back, Joe.
That is fantastic.
It's just great.
Well, the doctors there are phenomenal, all of them that I've met so far. I just met a new one here. Well, they care, and they appreciate what the veterans have done for this great nation.
It's true.
It makes me feel good.
Well, there's another vaccine that I just saw advertised recently on TV, and it confuses the heck out of me. And it's called the Tdap, and it's the tetanus shot plus pertussis. And if you on the commercials, it talks about getting the pertussis shot, and we've been given that for a long time, so that you don't get pertussis is whooping cough, so you don't give it to your grandchildren. Can you tell us a little bit about that vaccine, Dr. Gary?
Yes. Tetanus, Tdap, is a difference between the tetanus and diphtheria. The Tdap has pertussis component in it, and pertussis is recently come up a lot more than what it was previously, and it's has been helpful to prevent whooping cough. Like you said, I guess it's an older disease, Dr. Knapp, from a long time ago, but now it's more prevalent, like in the recent years. So probably within the past 2 to 3 years, we've started to give more of the Tdap vaccine that has the pertussis component. And a lot of patients have already received the tetanus diphtheria vaccine.
I want to jump in with a question on that. You said the tetanus shot and the other are combined?
Yes.
Now, a tetanus shot is every how many years you should get it?
10 years.
10 years. Yes. Now, you're putting this other vaccine in it. Is that also good for 10 years?
Yes.
Oh, they matched it. How nice.
Yeah. Yeah, the pertussis, whooping cough, in someone in our age group causes an annoying bronchitis. But if you have a whooping cough and you give it to your grandkids that are younger, they end up in the hospital with pneumonia and everything. So that's why the vaccine's pretty important.
Yeah, it's recommended for adults that are around younger children.
Yeah. What are the symptoms? I know it's a cough, but is it more robust cough, or is it more frequent cough, or?
What it is, Joe, it's a cough that is so bad, it's usually non-productive. It's a cough so bad that in the clinical literature, it makes you want to vomit because you cough so badly. And it actually is prolonged. It'll go on for 4 to 6 weeks. Wow. So I see only about one case maybe every 6 months at most. But it's a very annoying illness, and you don't want to get it if it can be prevented by a vaccine.
So you're talking the frequency of a cough is every 10 minutes you're coughing, or it's?
Every few seconds you're coughing. So it's individuals that come in with a bronchitis that are coughing every few seconds. Coughing, they can't talk. Coughing so bad they'll vomit. And it's very impressive when we see a case. We don't see many, but there's 2 reasons to get the vaccine. One is to prevent that illness, and 2, to make sure your grandchildren are protected.
How is that diagnosed, doctor?
Well, it's diagnosed clinically, but you can also send off serology and cultures and everything else. The treatment is just purely something like erythromycin, zithromax, or doxycycline, which costs virtually nothing. So when we diagnose it usually clinically. I don't send off testing and just put the patients, the veterans, on antibiotics.
Wow.
Well, we only have a couple minutes to go, so let me, I was interested about mixing vaccine, because some of these, the shingles vaccine is a live vaccine and everything else is inactivated. How many vaccines can we give at one visit?
I think we usually give 2 vaccines at one visit. The shingles vaccine previously was not recommended to give with the pneumonia vaccine, but recently the CDC approved for it to be given in order to prevent a missed opportunity, like if for a patient not to come back and to receive a vaccine. But for Prevnar and shingles, it's approved to give together.
I see. Okay.
And you can get, flu vaccine
And
together with
shingles.
shingles vaccine. You can get a flu vaccine and a pneumonia vaccine together as well. And flu
and
vaccine
Tdap.
and Tdap.
So you have sore arms on both sides for about 2 days.
They're a lot better tolerated than what we gave in the Navy.
Oh, yeah,
yellow fever,
then I want to talk about
typhoid, things like
get in
that.
line and just air pressure. Boom, boom, boom.
Bicillin.
Memories, yeah.
Bicillin, right? The
Yeah.
bicillin shot.
Bicillin, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I gave out 3,000 vaccines in 1 month on the ship.
Oh, yes. Yeah, just line them up and just shoot. Boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom.
2 minutes.
We have 2 minutes to go. That's good.
Occasionally we see somebody who has something very specialized, like their spleen came out. And if you're someone listening who's had their spleen out, you need a whole bunch of vaccines. And just so you know, and we really try to ride herd out of that, Dr. Gary can tell us about some of the other vaccines that we'd give that individual.
Yes, Hib vaccine is recommended. The Tdap vaccine is recommended. Pneumonia vaccine and meningococcal vaccine. Thank you. So those are the vaccines that are recommended for patients with dyspnea.
Very good. And the meningococcal vaccine is actually given to college-age students. And to prevent meningitis and pneumonia. So we do see a lot of young veterans that then are enrolled in college. So we're all set to give those vaccines as well to prevent those diseases.
Pneumonia will get you.
For sure.
Pneumonia will get you for sure, yeah.
1 minute.
All right, we've got 1 minute to go. I'd like to, at this point, thank everybody has come in here. This is phenomenal. We're glad that you took the time out to come and be on WOCA. And we're going to do this again next month, once a month. Will
Every
you
month.
come?
Every month. Thank you very much for allowing us to be here.
Oh, you're kidding. No, this is phenomenal. Pass the word. And if something comes up between now and then and you want a special, just let us know. And if nothing is scheduled, we'd love to have you. And again, if something hits the fan, as they say. Larry, I have about 30 seconds.
Yes, sir.
Can we thank Bob Wines again? Bob Wines, Camellia Garden and Nursery, and our Ocala Ford dealers. And Joe, we want to thank you folks here at WOCA who make it all possible. And thanks again to our great Ocala VA Medical Clinic. And we'll turn it over to Kate Smith, and God bless America.
God bless America.
You're never here, so stand between the ladies there and take your picture.
Oh, that'll be after we're off. Very good.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu, and last night's GOP showdown foreign policy, one of the key topics. Carly Fiorino in the CNN debate talking tough